Hello, Tosca Reno here. How are you? How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm here in my little kitchen, as you can see, feels like a very country kitchen, very homey. And I'm my Eat Clean thing, Tosca Reno here. Welcome. Look behind me, I have got magnolia blossoms. What I did was I took some branches in from outside maybe a week ago, and I'm forcing them because I wanted some fresh, naturey kind of looking stuff in my house. But this morning, if you joined me, I did a little session on journaling, and now we're going to switch gears and go into the kitchen. So I'd love you please send me hearts. Just send me hearts and love. And then, if you're listening on the replay, would you please just do hashtag replay and your name and where you're listening from. And then I need a little help from you too, because I'd love to know, how's the sound? How are we doing? We do very well on Instagram. Oh, thank you, Jessie. She invited me to change my life. Thank you. Hi, Sheila. And listen, if you tag someone who you think would benefit from this little conversation, please tag them. Please send them your love, share the love. Hey, Michelle, how are you? And Jennifer, oh my gosh, what comments am I getting here? Oh, Oxygen Magazine, yeah, and here's Carrie Ann. All right, listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. I like to think of myself as an expert in many things, and I probably should have heard the warnings about sourdough from my younger daughter, who's more of a pro than me. That's Kelsey. She's happens to be listening. Hi. Oh, thank you. The sound is great. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thanks for the love. I love you, books. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, I love you. I love you. Oh my gosh, this is for me, day 14 in self-isolation. How about you? Text me if you've been in self-isolation. And then when I see somebody breaking the rules, I want to get cranky. But today, now you, thank you. Oh my gosh, Hannah. Hi, I love you, Tosca. I've kept all my Oxygen magazines. Okay, I got to get, oh, wow, thanks. Look at all these love hearts. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I am very excited about sourdough. For a long time, I've told you about the nutritional benefits of sourdough, and we're going to get into it. And for all the unsuspecting folks that are you who are listening, it's going to be a lesson about sourdough, but guess what? The sourdough taught me a lesson. Oh my gosh, I tell you, there is a lot to know about sourdough. And technically, you could make sourdough in all of 16 minutes. It's really kind of that simple, but not that simple. I really messed it up. So I'm just going to be straight up honest with you, and I'm going to read you a little story that I wrote about humbling sourdough lessons. Are you up for that? And don't worry, we'll get to the sourdough. Don't worry. All right, here it is. Humbling sourdough lessons. I told you this is going to be a period of enormous with this, just for you. Okay, sourdough. I am more than flour and water. I am air, yeast, salt, and natural sugars. If you put me in a container with a tight-fitting lid and forget about me, I will explode out of that container. Oh yes, and I will make a mess of your refrigerator and your counter. And this I did. Oh, that happened to me for sure. Okay. I need to be fed and watered a lot. Some people name me like Vincent Van Gogh or Betty Boop or whatever interesting names you call your starter. I need lots of stretching and folding, just like my hips. Basically, bread yoga is necessary. Hi, Maria Makes Muffins. Thanks for joining. We've been having great conversations. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, so really, make it like yoga. It's like yoga for sourdough bread. I need to be stretched, but also I like to chill out a lot. Proofing me in a pretty basket called a banneton, look at how pretty that is, makes my curves, I look spectacular. All right, proofing me makes me sexy. I Dutch oven, let me show you. Heavy Yes, I do. I cook well. Yes, you could just in the oven like that, if you can lift me. I cook well in a heavy Dutch oven. The Dutch are so good at so many things. I can say that. I'm Dutch. Did you know that? I'm Dutch. Yeah. All right. But I'm finicky. I'm a bit of a diva. I don't like ordinary flour, even though it's perfectly good flour. I don't like ordinary flour. Oh, no, no, no. What do I need? I need proper bread dough flour. Bread dough flour on it. I failed at that. When I made my bread dough starter, I used lovely organic. Oh, I thought I'm just going to make this the best ever. And it totally turned into rubber and it stunk. So I failed. I'm hungry. But sourdough, warm spaces. I like being loved and I like being covered. I behave better if you measure me with a kitchen scale. Yeah. So you want to be measuring in grams. And I have this little handy dandy kitchen scale. That's kind of what you want to be doing. I didn't do that. Didn't pay attention. I used a cup measure and I got it all wrong. Okay, and for that kitchen scale, you're definitely going to need your glasses. All right, almost done. But these are the humbling lessons now. But listen, I am worth the trouble. Diva that I am. Sourdough is the original unleavened bread. I come from wheat seeds. But there's a little caution there, okay? Seeds are always full of phytic acid, and my seeds are no different, phytic acid. Now, when you eat me in commercial bread, when you eat these seeds in commercial bread, it causes your tummy to hurt, bloat, and make smells. But sourdough, baby, I am the original hot, sexy mama bread. I use wild yeast and lactobacillus in the leaven. To that. But this is what makes me sexier and better than anybody else. My wild yeast and lactobacillus neutralize the phytic acid in those wheat seeds so you don't get a tummy ache, so you don't get IBS, so you know, poop your pants. I'm being jokey. It's part of my story. Yes, so essentially I am way more nutritious than commercial bread. Let me say that again. Sourdough bread, that's me. I am way more nutritious than commercial bread. My process, called sourdough fermentation, is very fast. I get airy and bubbly and yeasty and gassy super fast. And I am also absolutely delicious. Have you ever tried me? Sourdough bread makes my heart flutter. And if you add some delicious, beautiful oil to that bread, I don't know, orgasm fun in your mouth? Can I say that? It's Saturday afternoon. Why not? Souring my dough makes my bread healthier because it's easy to digest for your tummy. And there's way more nutrition in it. I'm going to give you more minerals. I'm going to let your enzymes alone so they can do their job in your tummy. It's awesome. Souring anything, but especially me, sourdough, makes your gut garden happy. Yeah, I'm talking about your belly garden. There's a lot of bugs in there and they love sour foods. What do you all think of that? But the best news of all, sure, it's good for you. Sure, sourdough is yum, yum, yum. However, I taste delicious and last longer than regular bread. I am the yummiest bread there is. So listen, these are the lessons that I learned, and I will not sit here and tell you that I am... Somebody's asking to be in my video. I'm not sure if she's an expert. Joanne Riviarios sent a request to be in, maybe she's an expert in bread, I don't know, or sourdough. So I'm going to tell you sourdough starter, okay? on Instagram Live, and I was feeding my sourdough and all the rest of it. And hola, and my sourdough failed, it flopped. So you know what I had to do? I went to my dear good friend, Shell Campbell from Pia's Bakery on Broadway in Orangeville. Pia's on Broadway in Orangeville. He makes his own. My daughter Kelsey is saying, I'm loving. It's bread time. It's bread story time. Yeah. So I picked up, I said, help, 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 Shell, you make gorgeous sourdough. And every Saturday when they're open, he sells loaves by the dozen. You have to get there early to get it. And I've taken the lid off this. Smell and look and enjoy. Look at that. Look at all the airiness, the fermentation that's happening in there, right? So I said, Shell, I need to get some sourdough starter from you because mine was an absolute flop, and I'm doing this live and people are going to think I'm the expert, and I'm not. I failed. He said, Tosca, don't worry. He and his wife, Laura, said, don't worry. Go to Tartine, Beginner's Sourdough, Tartine Bakery, okay? And they have a cute little 6-minute video that it takes all the sting out of making sourdough. But when I looked at it, I thought, oh my gosh, there's a lot of work to making sourdough. The other thing I learned about sourdough is you have to throw out a lot of it, okay? You probably all know this, you're way ahead of me. So you end up using maybe only 20% and the rest gets chucked out, but don't chuck it out because you can use it to bake, you can use it in pancakes. Look at this incredible thing I baked today with my daughter Kirsten. Oh yeah. We put some, look at that. Isn't that yummy? We put the sourdough starter in it so that it got all this beautiful crumb and the beautiful top. And we already ate a whole bunch of it because it's so good. Okay, new recipe alert, obviously. However, so there's a whole process that you can follow on the Tartine Bakery, and I know that Shell and Laura are going to be doing a tutorial. So what you're going to do, the next step you're going to do is you're going to take, you're going to measure out, and it'll tell you right here. So start where I'll and then you're going to start the process of adding in the flour. Now, here's why I said a kitchen scale, right? You want 200 grams of the active starter. This thing is measured in grams. You need that, otherwise you're going to get it all wrong like I did, okay? I promise you. And then you're going to mix warm water, 525 grams. So you're going to have that right, and you're going to mix it with a fork. Then you're going to measure in 700 grams, yeah, no cup measures here, 700 grams of bread flour. Once again, don't use the crummy, just don't use the wrong flour, okay? And you're going to mix a dough to form a shaggy ball. See, I'm not doing any of this because I didn't have a starter. I failed. So now I'm going to have to do this, and I'm going to have to show you, and it's still going to take me another 24 hours. Yeah. However, the key thing to remember here is when you're eating clean and you're trying to avoid all those issues with genetically modified organisms. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. And you don't want the tummy bloat. You really do want to eat as many soured and fermented things as you possibly can. And the fermenting helps to feed the gut garden, the gut microbiome. And sourdough will do that because it's taking wild organisms out of the air, wild yeast that's in the air all the time, and wild lactobacillus, and that goes into your belly. But here's why this matters even more right now while we're in the middle of this whole, let's call it an immune system test. Did you know that 80% of your immune system lives in your gut? 80%. It's a huge number. So if your gut is unhappy, you're going to have a hard time firing up that immune system. And the best way we know to make that gut happy is to put a broad array of sour or friendly organisms, broad array of sour foods and friendly organisms into your belly. Loaf of I'm really sorry that I had to be humbled by sourdough. I hope you can forgive me. But I hope the key lesson here you can take away is it's not really about perfection, and it's not really, I don't know, you know what, it's about learning and trying new things. And I'm hoping that the sourdough part of it, I will learn and I will share with you. I confess, this was my first shot. I should have had an expert standing right beside me, but I will try. I will do this and I will get it right. And I'm very happy to have shared not a bedtime story, but a bread time story with you about sourdough. So if you have any tips that you'd like to share with me about sourdough, please share them. Finally, I want to do a shout out to my dear friend Alberto. So when anybody who's been on my retreats with me in Costa Rica, the chef there, Alberto, has taught himself how to make benai, and the sourdough that he makes is a work of art. I gifted him last time with a couple of the Banneton baskets. You can order these online. And his loaves, if any of you have been with me on these retreats, you will know and you will vouch for this. His loaves are gorgeous and he gets so creative. And so I strive to be him. I strive to be the rest of you. I strive to do a better job with my sourdough. And I'm going to hopefully take some lessons and take some time over the next few days and get this right. So thank you so much for your patience. Don't forget, you need the proper tools to make sourdough. You need the right bread, the right bowl, absolutely the right flour. I think I meant flour when I said bread, a scale, and an open mind and an open heart. So right now for me, share with me what your favorite sourdough bread is and where you get it. I know that there are so many beautiful bread makers. And I would say, as an act of good faith, if you don't feel like making your own and you want to leave bread making to the professionals, why not see if you can order some sourdough locally? For example, I know Fred's Bread in Toronto is making sourdough and delivering orders. So you can go ahead and for some of sourdough. Are local people doing the same for you in your neck of the woods wherever you live. So if this is all too much of a process for you, sourdough, then go ahead and find a local supplier and see if actually they are providing. Now, the other implemented, and you'll be happy because this is Saturday afternoon, two things. We have wine deliveries that will happen right at my front doorstep, and also beer deliveries. There's a beautiful brewery in Toronto called Burdock, and if you place your order online, they will deliver beer to your house. Those are both fermented foods, soured foods that put really good stuff in your belly. Of course, everything in moderation, right? So let this be a lesson. If you're very interested in my bread time story, I will post it for you. If you're curious to see the video about how to make sourdough better than I can do it, go to tartine.com. That's tartine.com. Follow along with Pia's on Broadway on Instagram, and they'll be posting a tutorial too. That's where I got my beautiful starter from. And now I'm going to humble myself. Will teach me how to make a proper sourdough. Okay, everyone. Happy Saturday. Over and out. I love you, love you. Tomorrow, I'm going to help you visualize health in your cells. I don't know if you're aware of this, but every thought you think becomes a reality in your body, and emotions are the language of your cells. So tomorrow's meditation is going to be all about that. I'm live at 11 o'clock EST tomorrow morning. All you need is a pillow and a blankie. Okay, cheers to y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of day. I enjoyed this, and you might say this was my Tosca Reno fail, but we learned a lot too. All right, God bless, stay well. And thanks again for your patience. You know I'm handling two feeds here. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Bye, Facebook fans. I love you loads.